What would you do if I played Undertale music? Would you rebel? Would you be like, Lauren, this isn't Deltarune? How could you if I did it? Did I say Undertale this time? Or did I say I'm gonna just stop. Oh man. Okay, hi Portal79. And if there's anybody else here who is here for the first time, I think it's mostly folks whose names I know, but if it's folks whose names I don't know, hello and welcome. Greetings. All right. I think it's been a few minutes. It's been a few minutes. We can dive on in. Yes. Okay. Hi everybody. Before I start actually clicking on things or diving into things or anything like that, I'm gonna talk for a minute. I'm gonna do a preamble for a minute. No, I did want to say, cause I did this last week. Can you believe it's only been a week? Like, it's just it's a crazy time. Time is an illusion. Yeah, so when I did this last week, I kind of assumed that the only people who were going to be hanging out were folks who already knew me, who've watched my Undertale Deltarune streams before, maybe who hang out regularly and are part of like the Flutie Pies Discord, or just had seen those particular streams. I think it's only been 1 week. And so I was just like, all right, folks, let's do this thing. Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. As it turns out, people like to watch reaction videos of things, and I guess the thing that I made last week counts as one of those. I didn't realize that. I was just like, oh, I promised the folks on YouTube who follow my stuff that I would put this up so they could join in later. But then a bunch more folks found the video, which I guess is the old Undertale Deltarune magic that people want to do more with it. So if you are one of those new folks who found me because of that, thank you. I hope you're enjoying yourselves here. This is new and exciting territory. I don't usually just sit and look at a website. But I hope that it's been entertaining for you despite my shenanigans, which I recognize. And I will say this straight up. My shenanigans, I recognize, are not for everyone because I just sit around and talk a lot about lots of things. Like, I've been trying to go back in and timestamp some of my older Deltarune videos since apparently people are watching those. And I'm like, I might as well make this a little easier now that I know how timestamps work and that they exist, because I am an old, shall we say, when YouTube things come up. So hold on, brain just, yes, I was observing. I was like, just man, I really do talk a lot. But I've been trying to make that a little easier. Folks are joining. So long story short, hi, welcome. I didn't know you were gonna come, but I'm happy you're here. If that makes sense. Since everybody mostly seems to, I guess if you stick through the stuff that I say, you're okay with like the way things happen, the way this community works. So yeah, welcome. Pull up a chair. I assume you're probably already in a chair or like on the couch or whatever it is you do that's cozy. And I guess if you don't know who I am and you're just like, who is this random person who made a Spamton video thing? I guess I'll do the abbreviated, the short intro. I'm Lauren the flute because I play flute. I didn't put my flute together this time, but I can. It doesn't take very long and it's not that late. So we could have fluting today, if we wanted. I'm called that because I do play flute. I play video game music on my flute. I lead a video game cover band called The Returners in Austin, Texas. I live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada now, which is a little far, but I'm kind of putting out initial feelers to put together a new video game band up here, maybe. I was either thinking about the Red Mages or the Megalovaniacs, which is a name that somebody came up with during one of my, I think it was one of the Deltarune streams. And I liked that name so much I might make a bed to go with it. Or not a bed, a band. A band. Somebody in chat said bed in my brain. Auto-corrected. But yeah, so I do a lot of video game music related stuff, but I also stream and I talk a lot about stuff. I dig into things like this. So if this sort of thing, if you're like, it's cozy sitting here listening to Lauren talk about a video game and then cry about a video game and stuff. If that sounds like fun, feel free to follow. I just beat Hades, which took me a very long time, partly because I wound up getting really sick and took some time off this summer. And just, it's a long game and I wanted to see and do everything. So we'll be playing a few little games and then we're supposed to dive into Disco Elysium on Thursdays, and then Tuesdays we're playing Horizon Zero Dawn, which is awesome. If you like really, really detailed lore to dig into, characterization that is done very well, beautiful writing, and things that make us cry, may I recommend Horizon Zero Dawn? It's an incredible game. Yes, Stray is on the list of things that we're going to be doing. Is there anything that I'm forgetting to say about me? Yes, the Megalomaniacs that won't ever cover Megalovania. That is the Megalovaniacs that won't ever cover Megalovania. That is correct. That is the joke. I feel like that's a troll that Toby Fox could get behind. Other than that, I write stories, which I have a degree in, like I have a master's degree in MFA in writing fiction. Popular fiction, so that's kind of like where when I start talking about breaking down story stuff, I have a lot of training and experience. This has been my big joy in life for a while. I've started writing novels again, finally, after a big long break due to depression and stuff. Thanks to Toby Fox for helping inspire me to get back into it. But I do write fanfic as well. Thank you for linking to that, Blue Glass. So if you ever like, Lauren is talking a lot about story, does she actually know what she's talking about? I mean, you can read some of my stories and see what you think. There is a little bit of Deltarune on there, and there may be more. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, is that am I allowed to do, is that too much self-promo? I'm sorry. I feel like if folks are going to be coming here for the first time, I might as well just be like, hello, this is me, this is what I do. You can also like check out my social media stuff, although if you're on my YouTube, you're already on my YouTube, so you know that there's YouTube. And if you're here in Twitch, hello, I do music on YouTube, and things. Yeah, I think that's it. Also, I have a cat named Sophie, who I might pull up to say hello. I like melodrama and tragedy. Yes, I do. Yes, I love melodrama and tragedy. I love digging into stories, and I love things that make me cry. I really like trying to puzzle out things and predicting what's going to happen next. We call it mini golfing due to my Final Fantasy X stream that I did a number of years ago. Yeah, other than that, I think that's the thing. There'll be more stuff. I'm a niche flavored streamer, what can I say? But I really appreciate you folks that stick with me and hang out, and I hope that you have a good stay this time around. Wow, I managed to keep both the preamble and my introductory self-promo whatever thing in less than 10 minutes. Avalon is making sure that we stay hydrated. Observe. This is water. It keeps you hydrated, folks. High Vault raises a very important point. Yes. I did this last stream, which is part of why I wasn't going to necessarily do it this stream. But just as a reminder, in case this is your first time here, I don't like spoilers or backseating, which apparently also relates to website clickings. I like trying to figure things out myself. If you backseat, even if I was going to do the thing you told me to do, I am contrary enough that I will just not do it. I'll just never do the thing you told me to do. So everybody is sad, including me. So just generally speaking, if you want to say a thing, if you're like, oh, there's a little bit of information you don't have about the thing you're talking about and I want to tell you, you can ask me, Lauren, can I tell you this thing? Most of the time I'll say no, but you can always ask. If you're going to explode because you're like, I know the secrets, oh my god, we have a special channel on our Discord server called Stream Spoilers. you have to ask a mod for access to, so that you can't just default to go in there, so nobody gets accidentally spoiled. But you can pop in there, and folks are going, and folks there will be hanging out. Apparently, it's basically the peanut gallery, for whatever, because I don't go there. I don't see what happens there. So it's a great place for folks. Yes, the yelling room, I think maybe is what its subtitle can be. Thank you, Avalon. Where you can just yell if I'm close, if I'm far, if I've forgotten something, if you can't wait for me to see or find out about a new exciting thing. That's the place to do it. And we've got a few mods present, so yeah. And yes, so things that count as spoilers, I don't want to know the details of the genocide run in Undertale. I've picked up on some of that just by cultural osmosis as a fan existing in the space of things. Also, there's another route in Deltarune Chapter 2. Let's not talk about that. And I know that there's a lot of cool stuff that's interesting there, but I'm not going to play that route, and I don't want to have the information that I don't have. Likewise, and this is a very specific Lauren thing, I don't want other people's theories. Like, I know that there's some cool big brain YouTubers out there who have lots of thoughts and ideas about, like, let me explain the lore of Deltarune to you. I want to go forward with whatever my brain gives me. My brain has flaws. I have major memory issues that I'm hoping will eventually get better, but they are not better right now. And so there are things that I will not get if it's something that, like, I should know because I've seen it. I've played the game. I went through that chapter. You heard me talk about it before. You're like, Lauren, psst, do you remember this? That's one thing. But please don't tell me what other people think is going on in the story, if that's okay with you. Because I don't know. I don't want my brain to be filled with other people's thoughts. I want it to be filled with my thoughts. My thoughts are sometimes completely ridiculous and involve ridiculous logic jumps, and I'm okay with that. So I ask you to please be okay with that too. All right, there we go. So that's the ground rules. I did a welcome preamble. I did a self intro. I laid down the ground rules, and now I believe that means it's time for us to dive into what we're doing here. And if you ever have any question about whether to say something or whatever like that, I don't want anyone to feel like they can't talk. Just like ask, or like pop into the Stream Spoilers channel and be like, hey, do you think it would count as a thing if I told her this? And then folks you can consult amongst yourselves. Don't spam a ton. That's actually the perfect segue to take us to why we are here, and part of why I wanted to have another stream. So there are two things that I wanted to do here. Two. I'm gonna move this camera back a little bit because I feel like otherwise it's like, hi, I'm Lauren. I'm like, look, I like bruised the other side of my eye, and I'm not sure how I did that. Anyway, I'm cool. I'm real cool. I'm gonna put here. There we go. Is that better? Is that better? So, two things. One, this exists. And we're going to take a look at this. This is Fangamer's thread of Spamton question and answer. And this is an entire bunch of content that we didn't get to last time. And I also got really tired last time towards the end of the stream. But also there's some other stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about here. Maybe we should switch music. What do you think? Should we switch music? We've listened to a lot of Faint Glow. We're almost done with Faint Glow here. What should we listen to now? We'll do this. Here we go. A music change, cueing, signaling that it is time for us to join a different part of the conversation, a different section of topic of talking now. Yeah, no. So words. I'm sorry. So I had a lot of fun looking through this thing right here. Like, just like looking at it and doing some speculating and things, which is fun. And I had a lot of fun reading. I've thought about whether I should show you guys some of my old LiveJournal entries, just to, in case you haven't, if you didn't grow up during LiveJournal. I could show you some of my old LiveJournal entries just to see like how perfectly Toby captured a LiveJournal experience. And that was neat. And it was a fun blast from the past. But the thing is, there's something really important that you might have seen. Okay, if you're on our Discord server, you saw I left myself a messy pile of words. My messy pile of words to remember to talk about on stream this time around. Because, let's see, where was it? I left a mess of words for myself. Sorry, we talked about Final Fantasy VI. I really like that game. I said, Spamton help kids, comma, kids equals Noelle. So it's chicken scratch notes, basically. I was just like, blah, 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 and I smashed stuff out. Because I had this idea. I've been thinking about what do we learn about Noelle as a character in these live journal posts that she makes. What do we know about her? And we learn, we get kind of an insight into her that we don't fully get into in Deltarune Chapter 2, even though Chapter 2 is Noelle's chapter. There's sides of her that we don't get to know, that are revealed here. So we get some insight. We see like some things that she's clearly written when she was younger. But we see some of her insecurities and some of her ways of interacting with the world and what she wishes and what she hopes for. And we can also like kind of read between the lines to see the massive amount of loneliness just saturating everything that she does. How desperate she is for connection with people. How desperate she is to find secret, hidden things. And that's a good and interesting thing. But there's something that my brain did that I didn't realize until afterwards it was doing. So Spamton's connection to Chris in the game is very interesting. And I've wondered what Spamton has to do with us and how Spamton and Chris relate. I've talked about this last time, but I feel like Chris gets scared and made uncomfortable about the strings, and I think this is because Chris is used to having their strings pulled by something outside of their control. Whether that refers specifically to us, the player, whether that refers to something else that maybe controls, because we don't know when Chris tears their heart out. We don't know if that is Chris being able to control their own body and throwing away our control, or if something else is involved with controlling that side of Chris. Like, we don't know that. Maybe it gets confirmed in one of the other playthroughs, but I don't have confirmation on it. So at least I don't know that. But I think that Chris is so moved by Spamton's situation because they relate to this desire for freedom and the feeling of being controlled by someone else. And so that's interesting because the way that we as the player relate to Chris is fascinating to me. Like, is Toby Fox going to completely knock down the fourth wall altogether and pull us into the story like I rambled about last time that I would love to see? Is very exciting, never-ending story sort of experience that I think he set up really nicely, and that I think having the sweepstakes like this beautifully sets us up for. And we get more information about the relationship between Chris and Noelle here because we see Noelle's private locked journal entries, so Chris won't ever see those. And we see her loneliness and how she's not convinced that Chris actually wants to be her friend. And things like that you kind of get a sense for in the game itself. But there's one thing here that I didn't think about. I just completely overlooked it. I'm trying to remember where exactly it is. Where is it? Which link is this? No, not that one. Where is it? Not here. But no, there's here. this. Here we go. So, even though Spamton exists in the world of Deltarune, and we, like, our characters have interacted with him as the being that we get to know in the Dark World, and even though Spamton is, as Spamton Neo, essentially wearing a version of Mettaton's drawing of their dream body that they would like to have. So we know that Darkners interact with Lightners through computers and things like that. Like, we know, like, we talk to Swatch, who talks about Mettaton coming in to the computer lab and creating the design that we can assume is Mettaton's Mettaton EX. Mettaton, yeah, that's the right term, right? The body that's not the box. We know that. And we know about Spamton having this phone call with somebody on the other end. But what I completely overlooked, and I'm not quite sure how, I'm going to go ahead and say that I was tired, is it appears, if this is to be believed, if this is canon and not out of nowhere, it appears that potentially Spamton communicated directly with Noelle. And because, like, so she reads her spam, and we can assume, because some of the phrases here are some of the same phrases that Spamton uses, maybe he is sending out the spam to the light world for whatever reason he's doing, depending, and it's hard to know exactly how seriously to take things and how much things are just a joke, because Toby Fox can do things that are just comedy, and he can do things that have a lot of depth and connection to everything else, and he can, as he did with Spamton's story emotionally, just turn on a dime and suddenly find yourself crying over his weird Mimi Trash Man. And so my instinctive reaction, I think, to all of this is not to make the connection that Spamton might be the one who's sending this to her, because it didn't occur to me that Spamton could be actually sending spam mails to people, even though he literally tells us that he does it, even though we know that Darkners can interact with Lightners, even though we know that they can do so with computers. I'm not sure why that skipped, like, why I just didn't I didn't think about this as a thing that actually happens in the game world. Like, this particular email here. So Noelle is desperately trying to find secrets in games, and she's desperately trying to find friends. So she's desperately lonely, and trying to find, I think maybe she thinks that if she can find the secret, it'll take her to her sister, because her sister has mysteriously vanished. I don't know for sure. But like, literally, because I guess I just assumed this didn't actually happen, which is counter to how I usually think about things. I tend to take things at face value, that if they say that this impossible thing occurred, we have to accept that that's what actually happened. But there's no reason to think that. If we assume that her journal entry about Chris and her insecurities about her relationship with Chris, if we assume that that's real, that's canon, that's actually Noelle, then we should make the same assumption here. And here we have cues indicating to us that, I mean, this is stuff that, like, Spamton would say. She always reads her spam mail, and also, just in case it's someone real, that specific phrasing isn't one of Spamton's songs called Real Boy? The Pinocchio reference there. And that's what Spamton wants, as far as we know, is he wants to be real. We don't know what the Angels' Heaven is, but I have kind of speculated that the Angels' Heaven has to do with us. our world. On the other side of the Lightners, there's another world, and that's us, which not really based on anything except just genre familiarity, and that's what I would do, and that's what I want to have happen. And Toby Fox is with the sweepstakes bringing us in, so I'm choosing to believe that there's actually some ground to stand on with that. Maybe not. So Spamton wants to be real. And so that's I think that this, just in case it's someone real, I think is just a little nod to that. So it does seem kind of like this could be Spamton sending her the spam. How does he know that she plays this game? I don't know who Mike is, honestly, so I can't answer that question. I know that Mike is a name that came up, but I don't know that I ever saw anything in my playthrough that confirmed anything about who or what he was. I think I might have been afraid that he was the one who was stuck in battery acid, because Spamton, when he stops making nonsense, like talking nonsense, and starts talking real, he screams about being in pain. And I believe there's some implication about battery acid there too. And so that was my fear, was that Mike had been stuck in battery acid or something like that. But we don't know for sure. There's not a lot. There's not a lot that I know, at least, about that. But so the implication here seems to be that because this is spam, and this blue circle thing, the Pepis, they told us how it was pronounced on the video, and then I promptly forgot. I'm sorry. I told you I have major memory issues at this point. I straight up tell people in streams because it's gotten bad enough that it's Peepus. Okay, so I wasn't even close. You can see I'm not like I will do my best, but thank you for that. So we know that this is something that is associated with Spamton, and it's spam email being sent to it's an email being sent to Noelle. And it's so whoever sent this spam to her, like, because I don't know why on earth would she think that this thing that she got would be able to be put into her game to be a mod, like, why? And then how? And then it does something. Like, what are the odds? But if you know Noelle and how obsessed she is with this stuff, because maybe you've been reading her journal creepily, thanks, Queen. I mean, Noelle's mom maybe doesn't know about her live journal, but apparently the Queen, I'm assuming, does. But I don't know that the Queen has anything to do with Spamton, so I don't know. But this is very like Spamton-y. See, and the crungulation sounds like a very Spamton misspelling of that word. And then crowlations. It could be her typing. It could be Spamton's errors. But like, for me, I thought that was really, really interesting that he's responding to her. He was completely and utterly desperate. He would recognize perhaps her desperation. And they're definitely, like, we know that Spamton gets desperate, and that's where he gets the connection on the line. Whatever's going on, I think something out there preys on the desperate. And I hope you don't mind that I'm just talking about this a whole lot instead of clicking on things some more. We'll get there eventually. But, okay, here, yeah, we're going to talk about Noelle, so we're going to go back to this one. If that's all right with you folks. Like, whatever's going on, whatever is out there, whatever is causing trouble seems to prey on the desperate. Spamton. I don't know enough about, I'm trying to remember what Gerbil's deal is, Devil's deal. I played that more recently. You'd think I'd remember, but I didn't look at that when I was adding my my timestamps to videos. I didn't get that far. But I don't know how desperate Devil is. I know that the Chaos King, I know that the king Lancer's dad. He's desperate and lonely. You know, his person left and never came back. It's funny we keep talking about like the same language, this desperation and this loneliness just overwhelmingly being what makes people take what the night offers them. Or something else that is not the night. Because we know that Chris is also lonely and desperate. I remember when my parents got divorced, I was 17 and my sister had just gone off to college, and we'd been like codependent levels of close growing up. And it was so incredibly emotionally, it was a brutal time, and I was really vulnerable. And so there was somebody who was able to take advantage of me at that time because I was desperate. I was lonely. I was vulnerable and hurting. And Chris has gone through both of those experiences of a relatively recent parent divorce. I don't remember quite how long ago it was. And then Azriel going off to college. And when you're very, very close and leaning on your sibling, and then your sibling's not there anymore, it can be really devastating. And so Chris is in that same state of vulnerable loneliness, that you kind of wonder, who is preying on these people, these lighteners and these darkeners? Are they orchestrating situations in which people become desperate and then taking advantage of them? I don't know. Because we know that Chris opens up a dark fountain. I mean, we see it happen with the TV that isn't even turned on, or plugged in earlier. But I think it is then, because they're going to watch a movie. The first chapter, like I've said many times, is Susie's chapter, another character who's desperate and lonely. Chapter 2 is Noelle's chapter. She's desperate and lonely. Chapter 3, I mean, it'd be funny if chapter 3 is Chris's chapter. I don't know what that would mean. But I wonder if, well, no, we don't really have any reason to believe that either Susie or Noelle would know how to open a dark fountain. I don't know. And I don't have any pieces, and I can't conclusively say this is because of this or this is because of that. I'm at the point where all I can do is put the things on the table and point at them and be like, look at these things that I've noticed. Some of them seem to be connected. I don't know how, and I don't know what to do with that. I can't do anything with it yet. But it is really interesting. If we think about this as Spamton trying to connect with Noelle, is like, do dark fountains open differently? Like, is something about this planting the seeds for that? Is whatever's creating our secret bosses somehow setting up the dark fountains being opened? We're laying some sort of groundwork for that. I don't know. Because Noelle's not with you when you go down and meet Spamton. It's just you and Ralsei and Susie. So she wouldn't know, and Spamton wouldn't know necessarily that you're friends with this kid that maybe he was taking pity on her. But then you had to wipe all your pets, so there's consequences. So I don't know. Is there anything else hidden up here? No. Oh wait, hold on though. Look at that. You can't see that. Okay, well, when I'm dragging around here in the background, actually this space that's blank, when I pull this, it's the Welcome to Holiday Girl 1225's Game Secrets, Glitches, and Theories blog. And when I pull over here in the corner, it's the, well, it's this, which makes me wonder. Okay, so there's not a spot for a music thing, you can see. So the banner here is the same. You can see it's the same layout. Even right here is where it starts. Because this one starts because it's got this. But we don't have like any lower anything. This right here is not long enough for there to be like a secret comments link. But so this right here is her blog, and it has the blog layout, but the blog layout has been turned off. It probably doesn't mean anything, but it's neat. Sorry you can't see that, but if you have this on your screen, you can do that. Yeah. Like I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious. Because we know that the creatures, that the Darkners in chapter 1 were formerly played with by possibly Gerson, who possibly abandoned them when he grew up and then wrote stories about the adventures. And we know that, for example, we know that Swatch, again, interacts with Mettaton. So presumably more of the people in chapter 2's Dark World could have connections to some of the Lightners. I don't know. So I'm just kind of thinking about this. But I want to say there was one other thing that is different if you think about it in the context of of Noelle and Spamton interacting and what that means. Because, and it would make sense for it to be Noelle interacting with Spamton in that chapter 2 is her chapter, and the Queen is very clearly, and at least in my mind, very clearly kind of a stand-in for her mom. But I wonder because the Darkners in chapter 1 don't have anything to do specifically with Susie, other than Lancer kind of filling Susie's need for somebody who looks up to and admires and appreciates her, and perhaps Lancer's dad representing adults not respecting or appreciating her. But I don't think that Jevil has anything to do with Susie specifically. I don't think that Jevil and Susie have any particular interactions. So I don't know. Anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about this. I don't have anywhere that I'm going with this. And none of this is essential to understanding Noelle. Somebody did leave a comment last week that they thought that Noelle was not as well developed as they would have liked in chapter 2, and I can see that. Although I did feel that she was well developed. But this is nice to see more of her. I don't know. I don't know, Chrono. I don't know. I feel like I had to have some reason. I want to take a little departure, by the way. So this right here. Oh, Susie's the only one who can equip the Devil's Knife. Oh, right. Part of me kind of wants to, and maybe we'll open up a little bit of the Jevil fight or the Jevil dialogue or something like that and see if there's anything there. But I do want to take a minute here to look at this right here. I'm pretty sure that there's some sort of a reference. I'm trying to remember. Oh, what is it that Jevil says and some of the things that Spamton says. Because, so this is called Damn You Tenna. I'm pretty positive. Hold on, I'm going to put on my hoodie. It got cold. It's fall now. It's no longer summer. Apparently, that actually means something in Canada as opposed to Texas, where it's just always kind of hot. No, that's not true. It does get a little bit chilly, but not this early in the year. So I'm pretty sure that Tenna is going to be our secret boss in round 3, which is really interesting. I don't think that Tenna is like the name of the night or anything. I think that Tenna is, it's going to be Jevil, the Jester Devil, Spamton, Mediton, but spam. What does Ton stand for there? I don't know. It sounds like robots. And then Tenna, I think, is the name of the third of these enemies. And for whatever reason, Spamton really hates him. So everyone except... I'm trying to remember. Because I dug around with this. Oh! Yeah. So Mike's name is hidden. No, because it's called Damn You Tenna. And if everyone is going to pay except for Mike, and Mike is not going to pay, then it's not his fault. You know? Everyone is going to pay, begging for my, I assume, mercy. Which is a loaded term in the Deltarune Undertale thing. Yes, Mike could be short for a microphone. I don't know why it would be, but it could be. It's usually spelled M-I-C in that case. At least in my experience. But I think that Tenna, I think that Tenna makes sense as being the character's name because he says, because it's antenna, like the TV, like these little like mousy, like boing. And he's mad about something. He's mad about Tenna. He's mad about him. It's his fault, and the TV is being scratched through. So presumably Tenna is some sort of a spirit of the TV. That Spamton is blaming everything on. And he's mad at everybody except for Mike. And I'm sorry, I don't know who or what Mike is. So I don't know. Well, Mike TV is also the name of one of the characters in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's the little American boy who's obsessed with cowboys. And Reboot is a fantastic TV show that I really like. But I don't remember Mike the TV in it. I remember Bob. Bob was cool. And Hexadecimal, who is Kefka's one true love. Yeah. But I don't think that Mike has anything to do with the TV here. The TV is bad and Mike is good, according to this page right here. Antenna is bad. Antenna has to do with TVs. So to me, that seems like a nice, obvious choice. What is the name of this picture, actually? TV2. Please forgive me here. TV2. Sorry, I don't know that I should be doing this, but Reboot's actually not a Cartoon Network show. It was actually a Canadian show that was put on Cartoon Network, apparently, in the US. Because the Canadian government actually funds the creation of television shows and things sometimes. Like Totally Spies, also another one that was, they were given a grant to create. Yes. I'm gonna do something that doesn't... This is probably a bad idea. Are you okay with that? Oh, you can actually see what I'm gonna do. Did I see this last time? I don't think I did. I'm enjoying this. Sorry. I love that you can tell this is just Toby playing on his keyboard. You can hear this like hesitation, the slight disconnect between notes that are being pressed at the same time where they're not quite exactly the same time because it's being played by fingers on a keyboard. It's neat. That little bit of that little human touch is very nice. Okay, so that's not necessarily anything. Hi, Heckmaster. Well, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yes, this is the Uaso, and then there's based on the season. There's a slightly different version of the settings screen song, and this is, I guess, sleepy dog time. No, it's okay. Paragraphs are good. Look, Heckmaster, do I seem like somebody who's going to be upset that somebody put too many words? Well, thank you for joining and welcome. I'm just kind of digging into some stuff here that I'm thinking about. Turns out that deltarune.com/Mike is not a thing, but I had to check because I had to check. Room_dog check. Okay, that's neat. Okay. Well, I guess we can go back to listening to... That's a little loud. So I don't know. The one that should be having... When you hack incorrectly in Deltarune... I've never hacked Deltarune. This is as close to hacking anything as I've gotten. That and when people had to recreate my save. Oh man, when my computer died last year. All right. I think there were just a couple of other little things that I was thinking about. This, I don't know. I bet, I don't know. This is either like a joke about The Nightmare Before Christmas, or it's a joke about The Nightmare Before Christmas. Maybe there's some context, like maybe it's actually related to something. I don't know. Where does this take me to? Yeah, I looked at this one. Yeah. Hold on. Sleepy. She's just like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, Susie, but I gotta annoy you. She's not dead. She's sleeping. There lies the name of the angel with tattered wings. Yes. Yeah, because I was really interested in this stuff because this is very, very character focused. But I didn't even think about Spamton related to it. So presumably here we've got the same thing going on. Yes, it's the same blog. Yeah, same blog layout. I don't know why I'm checking that. Like, a lot of this, I think, is just him being his trolly troll self. Because he can. This one is free, doesn't have to get run through by... There's no value. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Okay, yes. Potassium. Correct. Oh, wrong. Sorry. Frosted cereal box. Ah, here we go. The cat petters. Mew Mew Queen's Simpson Family Pack. I assume Mew Mew Queen is Alfie's. Yes, I did see the Twitter Q&A. We've in fact got it open in another tab. We're going to look at that next. But I wanted to, before we did that, just take a look here. Special egg. A white egg showed up on my screen with the message special. Didn't hatch, couldn't interact. Left home due to happiness. So like... Okay, here, do you want some really stupid mini golfing that's completely baseless, unfounded, and not based on anything whatsoever? All right. So... the plushies, the stuffed animals, the toys in Chapter 1 belonged to somebody else who had adventures with them until that somebody else stopped showing up and going on adventures. And they were psychologically damaged by the experience of being abandoned. And Chapter 2 takes place in a computer lab, not just Noelle's computer, which is why we wind up having access to the design that Mettaton made. So here we go. When Noelle was younger, because this we know happened in the past, because she says, now that I'm older, I think what happened is. So... Noelle is this sad, desperate child, and a blank white special egg shows up, and she tries to take care of the egg. Like, she freaks out about it, but then she starts raising it like it's a normal pet and taking good care of it, and then it leaves because of happiness. So this could just be like... It could just be like Lesser Dog. Just some random weird charming thing like that Toby Fox, like maybe this is Toby Fox being like, haha, remember when you pet Lesser Dog? Do you remember how much you pet Lesser Dog? Do you remember that the game had to literally tell you to stop petting Lesser Dog, Lauren? I do. My memory is bad, but I don't forget that. I remember that one. But what if, completely baseless, founded on nothing, what if this egg that she shows such kindness, what if this is Spamton in some way, some early like pre-Spamton thing, and she takes care of it because she wants to see what happens and feels that responsibility. So for one day, she takes care of a Spamton egg or something like that. The egg actually had a name, but I don't remember what it was. It's been driving me crazy ever since. Like, I feel like the egg's name would be significant. And so when Spamton writes about the angel with tattered wings, which leads to this, I mean, is Noelle like the angel who saved him? Now, of course, then we get into the angel and the angel's heaven, which my baseless theory is that is our dimension, And that we are the angels reaching into the light world as they reach into the dark world. But that I'm perfectly prepared to be proven wrong and have the angels actually have something to do with the Lighteners. Or have the Lighteners show up as people in our world during a Fangamer event, because that would not be unprecedented. If you went to Camp Fangamer, or you followed Camp Fangamer or the Earthbound Vash before, they actually had actors come out playing as certain characters in Earthbound and Mother 3. And I wouldn't put it past them to have the Lighteners exist in our world in some way, and that's why there's no Lightner plushies allowed to be made by Fangamer. Because at some point we'll have a real world event. I mean, I don't know if we want to count poor Reed as real world Asgore in that context, but you know what I mean? That might be something that happens, but maybe Spamton has this connection to Noelle too, because maybe she showed him kindness when he was just an egg, and maybe that's why he has this blue egg attachment. I don't know, because does he look like the other Addisons? I mean, we know that he's got the weird glasses and stuff, and that's presumably something to do with being haunted, because he got broken. He got possessed. He's a little bit possessed. I don't know. I guess he does have the hair. Oh man, happy birthday, Trib. Well, wait, was I doing Deltarune stuff last year? I guess I would have been. Maybe started it then. Amazing. Well, happy birthday. I hope you're having a good celebration. I'm just over here just pulling some stuff together and making a mess of things. I'm just dumping out. I'm pulling stuff out of my pockets and just dumping them on the table here about Deltarune. So anyway, there's no real reason why I think this could potentially be Spamton. It's just a thought. But I guess, I don't know, like, the Addisons, if he looks like an Addison and is like an Addison, the other Addisons they're their own thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we'll get to the Q&A. We'll get to the Q&A. Maybe this will actually, some of this might be addressed in the Q&A. But there's something significant about this egg and what its name is that is connected directly to Noelle. So, I don't know. Oh man, well that sounds like a good time. Cat sitting, couches, TVs, cats. Cats are good. Yeah, well, but he could potentially be an Addison that's been that's good. They got a virus, and now it doesn't quite work right. I don't know. This is one of those things that I think is significant. The name here. Left home due to happiness. I don't know that doesn't feel like Spamton. I don't know. Unless, no, that would make any sense. Okay. Shall we actually go over here and do this for the time being? Shall we dive into the Q&A? Okay. And yes, I do have a Twitter account right here, but I will spare you my Twitterness. All right, let's cue these A's. You asked, I answer. Oh, you know what? Let's switch to music. Let's switch to Spamton music. What shall we listen to? What do we want to listen to? Or we could just listen to Cyber's World. I love this song so much. Oh my god, it's so good. How is it so good? How is it so good? I don't know, but it is. All right. I'm sorry. This song is like one of my comfort songs right now. All right. You asked, I answer. Spamton Q&A live. New answers every so often from everyone's favorite salesman, all in this thread. So this is going to be a lot of trolley stuff, but there might be some actual consequence in here. Let's find out. What are the lyrics to Now Is Your Chance to Be a I Need to Know? All right, Shay TV. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yay. Subscribe to Spamton's Lyrics Genius. Lyrics Genius. That's a site. Now for $3.99, the first 3 letters are free. Fin. So fin means end, and free is a word that's significant. Freedom. Probably has nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying. I'm saying words. I'm saying the thoughts that are in my head. Spamton, what is your favorite food? Says Team Switched, with a birdie with a big nose and a dollar sign or an S for the arm. I'm not going to say that because I do not speak Spanish. Back at Peepus the original because it's absolutely the best food, margaritas, and service. Don't drink the water. Is this okay? I don't know. I don't know Tumblr. I'm not fluent in Tumblr. I'm sorry. All right. Oh, to everyone who knows what Peepus is. Okay, thank you. And then Amiga. Oh, did they cover up people's, no, they didn't. Okay. Amiga, who has the Spamton slipper picture there, which is great. Oh, that's cute. Hi, Machman. Okay. Spamton, what's your opinion on men? Do you like men? This is an important question. I like anyone and anything that gives me money. Transmit Cromer to me, and the next thing you know, I'll be begging for your heart-shaped object. Okay. Well, hey, this is what we observed happening. In fact, this is very much in line with what the video had going on. I thought it was interesting that the poem that they recited was actually kind of like they were speaking out loud, like terms of service agreements, like they were signing a contract. And then Spamton or whatever else was behind that was able to get them. Of course, it's not lore. It's not lore, Lauren. It's just a ridiculous nonsense video. Stop trying to piece together the lore in the video, Lauren. It's not. Toby said it wasn't actually canon, and to just have fun with it. But I can't do it. So, but heart-shaped object is very important. We know that that's important. We know that that's what Spamton wants from Chris. And that is, in fact, the thing that we use to control Chris. No, the QA is canon. I'm talking about the video. Spamton, what's your opinion on MLM, multi-level marketing business practices? Angelo Mango. A real business-loving businessman has no need for practice. He just goes right in there and invest. And if I get kissed on the mouth doing that, you just have to take it. This, oh man. The stream is canon in our hearts. Look, my brain can't let it go, okay? This is... I'm sorry, I can't not think of, that really horrible thing that Trump said here. But maybe this is referencing something in particular and I'm not getting it. But yeah, MLMs are, What? What? I'm just saying that's what it... The one about grabbing people. Just the feeling of this. Sorry. The grabbing women one. there's something about the, like, I mean, it's not structured exactly the same, but there's something about the way these ideas flow together that that reminds me of that statement specifically. I'm sure that's just my brain putting things together that have nothing to do with each other, but that's where my brain went. Do you like men? What about MLMs? I'm sorry, folks. I didn't mean to. Okay, so you can see it, even though I don't think that's what it's actually doing. It's I just go right in there and... like, it just, I'm sorry. That's what it feels like to me. I don't like it. I'm just gonna keep going though. Hi, Fangamer. Oh, here we go. Dork asks, Spamton, you amazing, marketable, and handsome fellow. Do you know anything about Des Holiday? Des. That's the one that Hoshimama always responded to free friend finder emails about. Sadly, I could not extract personal information for profit. I would love to know her account number. Okay. Spamton. So Spamton does interact with her. He definitely does interact with her. Because Noel always responds to any free friend finder emails. Like when he sends spam about finding friends, Noel always responds saying, can you find Des Holiday for me? Sadly, I could not find her. It's funny because the non-nonsense stuff, the non-virusy spammy stuff, the stuff that's not inside the brackets. Not brackets. Brackets? The one that looks like a staple? Brackets. They are brackets. Okay. If you ignore the stuff in there and you substitute normal words, this actually could be like a normal person who normally cares. Yeah. That's the one that girl always responded to friend finder emails about. Sadly, I could not find her. I'd love to know where she is. Like, I think that's... I don't know. So he looked for Des for Noel. I wonder if that's part of how he got into trouble. Because this indicates that he did look for her. And as much as it says in the brackets, extract personal information for profit, as much as, you know, capitalism would make him, you know, like evil capitalism controlling him to make money. The rest of the way this is written actually comes across as though like he legitimately cared and looked for her and he would love to have found her, you know? That's interesting. He went looking for Des and he couldn't find her on the internet. I like that though. I like the thought of him wanting to make Noelle happy and appreciating her kindness, potentially, to him. Yeah. Yeah, I think he does use that term for Queen as well. I don't think he uses it specifically for Noelle, but in this case, he's talking about Noelle, clearly. Spamton G. Spamton, if it's all right to ask, what is your relationship with the Addisons? I was wondering about this. So you frequent Undertale facts. Fact Undertale. Oh man. All right. Ha ha. Now that I'm big, those sloppy Sams don't even register on my Wildlife Scouts Radar 999. They're gone from my scrapbook, not even in my crap book. Oh, Toby Fox. I know now our friendship was all deep-faked. Even the ones I thought I knew would never be seen with me in the public. Bad for business? Who is? I'll be showing you who's business. Yeah, he's like, they were embarrassed to be seen with me. And I'm gonna get my revenge. Hey there, Spamton, you lovable salesman, you. Question: how fond are you or can you connect with cats? There seems to be a lot in Cyberworld. Neon cat signs tasks their manager, so I wanted to know what were your feelings on them. Also, what's your favorite food? You want to know about cats? What am I, your favorite search engine? Fine, I'll give you some free tool tips and funny animations. Haven't you heard of elemental pairs? With a valuable item, you can defend against puppet/cat or thunder/light, dark/star. Just watch out for the blank that uses death/scythe. Never again. All right, so this is Pokemon. Is Noelle's cats raising game a Pokemon game? I don't think there's any indication. Puppet/cat, thunder/light. Dark/star and death/scythe. I mean, death scythe. I'm just, yes, okay, recruits. Ah, man. Oh, man. Dark Star is like the best song, one of the best songs from Secret of Mana. The ones that use Death Scythe. Death/scythe sounds like that would be Jevil. So hold on here. Dark Star. What is that, Sham? Sham is Dark Star. It's the king. No, yes, if Jevil is Death Scythe. Spamton is definitely Puppet. Cat. Because of the cat game and the egg that Noelle gets in her cat games. So he would be the puppet and the cat. Because he's definitely Puppet because of the strings. That makes sense. So I think Puppet Cat would be Spamton. Death Scythe would be Jevil. Dark Star and Thunderlight, maybe we haven't seen. Or Sham. I don't know why I feel like Sham is Dark Star and Thunderlight is whoever we're going to see in Chapter 3. I don't know why I feel like that's Sham. Sham knows them. He knows a lot more than they let on. Well, I mean, they let on that they know a lot. They just don't share it all. All right. You heard it here, folks. Total baseless mini-gaming, or mini-golfing. Death Scythe is Jevil. Puppet Cat is Spamton. Thunderlight is who we haven't met yet. Tenna. And Dark Star, I'm going to go with being Sham. Because I think that this is specifically the optional bosses that we're talking about right here. I'm not suspicious of Sham at all. Like, Sham is really open about, like, I'm just sitting here waiting for the end of the world. I'm old and I'm tired and I've seen a lot of things and I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the end of the world. But Sham talks to you about Jevil and Sham talks to you, I think, about Spamton. Frog Fractions 2 is Chapter 3 all along. Amazing. Yeah, no, well, it's just like, people say that they distrust Ralsei, and I think Ralsei is lying to us, but I don't think he's evil, you know? Like, I think that he's hiding things from us. I think he's hiding the truth from us, but I do genuinely think he's trying to do the right thing. I think he's trying to do good. Like, there's a difference between somebody being, bad, like, between someone being evil and withholding information and someone just withholding information. So yeah, I think Ralsei is withholding information, and I think that Sham knows a lot more than they talk about, because you can get them talking about stuff. They know a lot. So that's where I stand on those characters. But yeah, I think Sham is Dark Star, because I think Sham is going to be involved with the overarching, whatever is going on a meta level, whatever is going on with those characters. I'm sure that Sham has something to do with it. And yeah, mini golfing is from when I played Final Fantasy X, I made this wild prediction about what I thought was going on, comparing it to a mini golf course. I actually, I was pretty close. With an valuable item. I'm gonna read into things uselessly. I bet I won't remember this by the time chapter 3 comes out. But in case I do, a thing that allows you to defend against the optional bosses. A valuable item that begins with a vowel. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, I'm on the 12th floor, but I live downtown, so you can hear the sirens all the way up on the 12th floor. Sound carries very well. I don't know why. You just have to get used to the sirens. And for some reason, they get picked up on my stream. Yeah, okay. So this is confirming. But I think that there's an item that lets you that begins with a vowel because it's an item. You can defend against Spamton, Tenna, Sham, but watch out for Jevil. I don't know. Look, this is what I do. This is what you're here for, right, folks? I thought the mannequin would defend against Spamton, but I don't think it did anything when I tried to use it. Because I brought it with me, but then I got the impression that it didn't do anything, I think. Because I thought it should, because you get it from the Addison, I think. And I thought that a mannequin made sense for somebody who's got puppets involved. I don't know that I figured that out. I tried, though. I definitely tried. I definitely did, if you watched me do that. I also didn't take as long to fight Spamton as I expected. Did I notice that blue glass? I don't remember if I did or not. I just remember doing that and I was very excited, but I don't remember if I noticed that it did anything. God, there's cat fur on my microphone. That's what I get for having a cat and a microphone. Okay, people, let me know after the fact. Okay, well, there we go. All right. Is Spamton your full name or is it short for something? Spamton is short for Spamton G. Spamton. Did you even read my legitimate business certificate? Look, unapproved certificate error. Well, it's just interesting to me that, the only other ton that we have in the game is Metaton. There's nobody else with that in their name. This is why it's very funny that Metaton won the Spamton, the dead, was it the dead Spamton jar in the sweepstakes giveaway. Because Spamton Neo and Metaton Neo, Metaton EX. Because it is Neo, right? It's the Neo versions. That's what the design is based on, yes? That's what when you fight Spamton Neo, and I was like, wait a minute. Did Spamton not have his own name and he took pieces of names? Yes, the body's similar to Mediton Neo, and it's called Spamton Neo, if I remember correctly. If it's not, well, it should be. I don't know. I'm pointing. I put some things on the table and I'm pointing at them, but I'm not doing anything with them. There's more. Let's keep going. Spamton, why do they call it oven when you off in the cold food off out eat the food? I'm sorry. This one, I'm used to associating this with Garfield. Was that where, like, was it originally a thing that people stuck in a Garfield comic? What the? I can't understand your way of speaking. Try using some brackets or random spam quotes to make more sense. Incredible. I love that he's got the brackets and the random spam quotes, just so you know. It's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Did the knight also pour milk on you and slam you against the walls of their fountains, causing a loud thud? Who the blank is the knight? If you want to milk me, get in line. We don't do that without a 72-hour paid appointment. So this is one of those things that's just kind of a little bit inappropriate and a little bit uncomfortable, where you're like, it's not explicitly inappropriate, but it feels that way. This is where Toby Fox is able to reveal some of his, I know I've since learned that he made some infamous Homestuck fan content. And here we get to, with Spamton, he gets just like indulge that side of him. So he's not recognizing the name the knight, not responding to the name the knight. So presumably whoever's on the other end of the line is not somebody he identified as the knight. Spamton, I must know the methods of your marketing genius. To you, what is so special about souls that are so desirable to be the heart-shaped object? Thanks, Sarah. Get so big I can see past the dark, finally becoming a real boy. If anyone has any extra heart-shaped object lying around, it could have value. Call... That's a big... There are several points in his dialogue where there's the, extra space, you know? Like, what could go in there? Who knows? So this right here is what, so someone or something has told him that if he, what does he say about the knight in the shop? Only in a regular playthrough, don't give me anything extra. But I did read that, I'm sure I did. Maybe he accidentally pressed tab, maybe. So he wants to become real. He says, Chris, did you know that the knight... And then it gets cut off. Speaking of communion. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Something cuts him off. And again, that's something that, like, maybe if I had a bigger brain, I could piece it together. I'm just noticing and feeling like these things should go. There's, like, they're gravitating towards each other, but not clicking together in my brain. But yeah, so if I could be Galaxy Brain Lauren. Man. Speaking of communion, Chris, did you know that the knight... No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, and he cuts out of the all caps. Thank you, Uranuk. And only Chris goes into the shop. The other two stay behind, right? Someone or something is watching him and controlling him and interfering with his... Like, he's possessed, sort of. He's being controlled. I wonder if Chris and Spamton knew each other. Somehow. I don't know. I mean, Spamton would know something about the journal entries about Chris if Chris is, or if Spamton is reading Noelle's journal. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so Spamton wants to be able to get out of the computer. And if he has been told that if he can get a soul, if he can get a heart-shaped object, then he can leave the dark world in his in a real self instead of as emails or a card, a playing card in someone's pocket, but actually himself. Yes, he does feel like there are different pieces of him, which is why I felt like he's got like a virus of some sort in him. I don't know. Hi, Mushroom Eyes. It's okay. Yeah, get a human soul and you can just leave like Undertale and the barrier. I guess. I think is though, no, I would disagree. In the case of Undertale and the barrier, having the two souls then deactivates the barrier and everyone can walk through. I think in this case, the implication is that if you get a heart, you can have an existence as yourself in the light world instead of the object that represents you in the light world. I don't know if that's actually a truthful statement or if that's somebody trying to get Spamton to get them some hearts. He wants to be a real boy. And there's a lot of stories that have people going into stories and then wanting to find a way to get that person, like their friends, their loved ones in the story to come into the real world with them. Oh, is that so Portal? I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember. But I guess that's true. Yeah, it takes 7 human souls to break the barrier for everyone. But it's different. It's how you get through the barrier. In this case, I think it's to give you form. I think it's because you can be outside. You're just not yourself. You're whatever the light world has that represents you. Oh man, I should probably drink water. You're right. I've been talking a lot. All right, everybody, toast to video games that make us happy and friendships that we make through video games. Lancer's a playing card. There's a bunch of stuffed animals. Just all of the toys in that spare room take form in the dark world. Stretch. All right, Avalon. Arms over your heads, everybody. Up. If you have existence in the light world, then the Lightners can't take anything away from you. You're no longer dependent on someone else to control your destiny. You control your own destiny. Nobody else pulls the strings. Unfortunately, though, at least in the case of Chris, even in the light world, somebody does push the buttons and pull the strings. The other characters in the light world don't seem to have that experience, but Chris definitely does, which is why I think that our world is going to get incorporated into the story somehow. So if their object is destroyed, I'm not sure, Heckmaster. But like we know, like Jevil and the King and Sham, I think all knew the Lightner that came into the world in the previous generation. If it is the previous generation. If it's not Azrael, but it is like Gerson, who I think it might be. And Chris has some ability to resist your instructions. I don't know. There's definitely, I think, meant to be a parallel between the way that Chris is controlled by you and the way that Spamton has his strings pulled. But I do actually wonder whether Chris and Spamton had encountered each other before, because I hadn't thought about that when I was playing the game. Hold on, do we want to listen to that some more, or do we want to listen to something else? I just really like this. Yeah, Gerson's kid, like there is the drawing of the turtle in there. But it could be, I don't know. Which would still be the previous generation. I think Gerson would be 2 generations ago because Alvin is a grown-up. Sorry. We can listen to something else if you want. I just really like this song a lot. Perhaps because no child ever used their imagination on that picture to make it real. There is a long tradition of stories in which the imaginary become real that we can reference. There's the Velveteen Rabbit. I mean, there's what Pygmalion and Galatea if we go back far enough. There's Pinocchio. This looks like there's only room for 2 letters, like me or it or something like that, which we know it is what it is the pronoun that has been used to refer to the night, which is a very interesting choice. This one was actually answered in game, I believe. It was from an obviously failed attempt to disguise himself as Swatch to sneak into the Queen's mansion. Big shot autos. Disguise? What? That guy steal my look. Okay, maybe he stealed back what I took from him, but who wore it better? With my $0.99 glasses and my negative $0.99 hair, he might as well not even try. To think he once pretended to be my friend now. There to always listen to, a shoulder to cry on. But in the end, he only always listens to a smoky hot bleep now. So Spamton is feeling insecure in his relationships and realizing that other people didn't consider him friends. He's very upset about this. He's very upset about the fact that he thought that the Addisons were his friends, then maybe he thought Swatch was his friend. And it turns out that none of them actually liked him, and he wants to get his revenge on them. Because none of them liked him. Like, the way they talk about it, so, like, he was always kind of embarrassing and annoying and uncomfortable, if I remember correctly. But they also sort of kind of tolerated him, humored him. It was one of those complicated things, you know? Sorry, listening to this music. I just really like it. Okay, that's no. The one that's really annoying that Swatch talks about is rules. That's different. Everyone's annoyed by rules. Because the Addisons are like, he was kind of embarrassing to be around because he failed at everything he tried. Swatch talks around him. He thought he was friends with Swatch. Yes, no, the Addisons did care. Well, the thing is that it sounds like it's kind of like a complicated thing where they cared about him, but and maybe because they were afraid that he was going to rub off on them, that his bad luck was going to rub off on them. It's complicated. Oh, Swatch. Okay, so that's the end of this one. Let's keep going, because I think there's a couple more. Okay, yeah. All right. Spamton, how do you feel about your numerous adoring fans and the copious amount of art featuring your stunning visage? Is that how you say that word? They stopped hanging around him after he made it big. Okay, so it wasn't that they were embarrassed by him at first. They called him unlucky and felt bad for him. Okay. So this is this thing that, like, because my memory is so bad, I could go back and check all of that stuff. I wish I could remember things better because it wasn't that long ago. It was a year ago, like literally a year ago. But unfortunately, my memory is bad enough. It used to be good. I used to have a very good memory. And so my ability to piece things together combined with my memory was good. Unfortunately, my memory is bad enough that I feel like I need to tell people on streams that it's practically on the level it feels like almost like some sort of like a little mental disability of some sort. I don't know. But I do my best and I try. Unfortunately, with things on streams, I can check the reference. All right. Okay, so nothing but adoration and exploitation right back for you, fellow freaks. I always knew my audience was cheering for me. Now, please stop taking my furniture out of my... Okay, that feels like a reference to something. The please stop taking my furniture out of something. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the fans are up to, but that's cute. Blunger, Spamton, do you please help me? I need some novelty paintbrushes. Send me a neochromer. I will buy them for you. Amazing. Oh, thank you. There we go. Spamton begs the audience to stop taking the furniture out of his room. Why is it taking the furniture out of his room? Because I thought that sounded familiar. I don't know. I don't know. Hi, Spamton, big fan. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like Peepers? And there's a lot that ends in 314 because see, they're round circles. This is circumference of a circle. It's funny. Oh, and look, actually all the zeros because zeros are also round. That's very cute. That's very cute, Spamton. Oh, this was... Profilie was in their lesbian era. I suppose her lesbian era. Wraith. Spamton, what would you say is the best feature of the special classic Cangadero? Feel the breeze as you drive around town, easy. And don't forget about our convenient electronic lighter. It really hurts if you stick your nose in there. Ouch. Oh, geez. Yeah, don't burn yourself on the lighters in your car. Don't push them in and let them get stuck there. It's bad. Set your car on fire. All right. See, most of these I think are just kind of cute, but there's little bits of lore in there. There were lighters in cars. They're like those little like roundy knobby thingies and you press them. Maybe they don't have them anymore actually. Once upon a time they did. You press them and or maybe you weren't supposed to press them. You would take them out and click on them, I think. I'm trying to remember the detail. Pie. Thank you, Skin Puppy. You're right. That is pie. So Peep is like pies. Pies. Spamton, are the rumors true that your wife took the kids and forced you into a brutal alimony payment? What are your thoughts on being the national video game divorce mascot? Is that because of that cake? Is that because of the cake? Why is he the divorce mascot? Why is Asgore not the divorce mascot? Did I just hear money? Donate now to Spamton sweepstakes. It's the cake. Why does he have, how does he have divorce guy energy? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know the cake. I missed the cake. Okay, well, clearly the next of the day tournament needs to be who's the divorce mascot. Yes, an epic divorce man bracket. That's what I'm thinking, Ampy. Poor Asgore. Spamton, you absolute hottie. How can I have a nose as deliciously long as yours? You know who else is not a real boy who has a really long nose? Pinocchio. Anyway, hit the gym, kid. I don't think that makes your nose get bigger, Spamton. I think you might have told a fib. I think your nose might have gotten bigger. Oh. Why do you look like that? Why do you look like that? Just another lasting effect on my health from becoming a big shot. This could be you. Don't you want to look just like me? Give me your... Okay, so he did get... His shape did get changed by... the corruption. We don't know what it's called, so... corruption. We'll use that term in the absence of anything else. Infected by the virus. But that wouldn't apply to Jevil. Hey, Spamton G. Spanton. Spampton G. Spamton. There's no P in there. It's not Spampton. Spamton G. Spamton. I have a really hard time with that. Do you know if the marrying Spamton becomes legal thing that Fangamer is doing? And if so, how do you feel about it? And if that goal is reached, then you're going to get a lot of marriage requests. Words. Yes, if the rumor's true, I will marry any fan, but warning, warning, we will also divorce and force you into a brutal money payment. Now that's occasion to the one you love. Dedication. Let's see, the word dead is taken off. Now's your chance to be a look like that. Yes. Amazing. And like this feels like this is just like goofy stuff. You know, like this is kind of like, hey, fans, we're aware of the memes. We know the memes. That's what this is. This is all memes about divorce and Spamton's face. However, the lasting effect on my health when becoming a big shot, that is confirmation that he was physically changed by that experience. All right, Spamton, do you dye/color your hair? I dye every day. Every day I feel like I'm dying and my insides turn a little more black and charred. It sucks to be Spamton. That's what we get at. Taking excerpts from the questions for his brackets? Yeah? Spamton, what's the best way to avoid non-apparent viruses and other scams online? I am very scared of the Trojan and its side effects. Please help. I am sending help right now. Download this email for free antivirus. Right-click the friendly worm that comes up. I will kill your computer so you will never be afraid of hope again. Never be afraid of hope again. Oh, I do like that this person appears to have... that's the last unicorn. That is sad. I mean, it's just an incredibly well-written line. But then the question is, like, is hope, like, is the saying that the Trojan and its side effects, that getting infected is what you should be what should be giving you hope? Or is this a separate statement altogether, which it might be? But it's very good. What does fried peepus taste like? Fry? You'd make the boys into a deep fried meme? Ha 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 ha. These things are called deep fried. I learned that. That has to do with it being copied and pasted so much, right? That it eventually starts getting that lots of artifacts look. Only a freak of nature would do something like that. Looks delicious though, and cheap. See, this is the eye right here, like delicious, like special. Crusty JPEG compression. Yes, that's it. See, like, this is just, like, goofy stuff. Spamton, my acquaintance that I have acquired, I would like to ask you a special question. Have you seen this kind fellow, the image I've inserted below? He's been all over the television. And I'm dying to know. He's been all over the television. Okay, this feels like a plant. Don't show me this fool in clown's clothing. All he thinks about is games, 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 while I'm out here busting my bleep into a scented candle. Even if I cheated, theoretically, I never your winner even once. Bleep him and bleep the ketchup, kids. Okay, so these guys do know each other. I just think it's funny that Jevil's tail is a J. See, J for Jevil. Maybe bitter exes. Okay, I don't even have to ask this question, but I'm going to anyway. Is that a common pairing? Even if it's ironic? Are they divorced? Amazing. I mean, we've got the Chaos Queen, or the Chaos King and the Queen, being kind of divorced and raising a child. Might as well have Spamton and Jevil be divorced. Everyone's divorced. There's a lot of divorced. I mean, given that in the Lightner world we have a divorce, we can have more divorce in the Dark world. The Ketchup Kids is from a copy pasta about exes. Okay, I did not know that. I don't know copy pastas. I don't know this stuff. No, but the thing is, it can't be just Spamton and Jevil. There's a whole set of them. Or at least one other. Tenna, I assume, is the one we're gonna get. Okay, so Jevil and Spamton got into a fight. Spamton is mad because all Jevil does is play games. And Jevil is mad at Spamton because he cheated. Although then the question is, like, what kind of cheated are we talking about here? Because that meaning, there's multiple meanings for that word. The secret bosses could all be in a polycule that ended badly. Yeah, well, like, did Spamton cheat to get ahead, or did Spamton cheat on Jevil? It could go either way. Words, they have meanings. I like them. But it's interesting to specifically say he's been all over the television. Because they're trying to mess with him because they, at this point, have seen the television stuff, I guess, on the website. Megaspell. I've only recently started hanging out on AO3. Okay, give me time. Anyone who doesn't know, AO3 is the fanfic website. Yeah, it could be cheating in a game. Or could be getting ahead, doing whatever it is that they're doing, whoever they partnered with. Oh, thank you, Ampy. Yes, I do write fanfic. There's a little bit of Deltarune stuff there. There might be more. I wanted to write Spamton fanfic, actually, but it was going to be really serious because that's how I roll, and I wasn't sure I could pull it off. But then now I feel like I couldn't because Spamton is now all this. There's this. Alright, what does your EX form look like? Bleep if I know, they didn't even let me transform. Yes, I would like to know what his EX form would look like. If we go straight to the Neo form, that's a good question. Do you think NFTs are a good deal, Spamton? Nothing are a good deal, Spamton. Until I sell it. Oh, he totally is lifting. That's literally exactly the same way. Things that he receives, he puts in his spam talk. Spamton, what would you recommend your audience during seasonal sales and limited items? Is there something you highly favor above your usual inventory? There's a verb missing there. Or something. There's a part of that sentence is missing. Thank you for the polite and kind query. We recommend you try the scented candle for those cozy holiday nights at home. Apparently, it actually gives you a headache in seconds. Thank you for the polite and kind query. We recommend you try that. I wonder where he got that from. I wonder where he took that from. Hey Spamton, huge fan here. Was wondering why you look different to those outer salesman guys in the city. Is it because you were always destined to stand out from them in a way? Once again asking about his appearance. Once I was like them, just a little shorter than the others. But once I started using the Spamton method every day and become big in seconds, now they're so small, so microscopic, I can't even see them anymore. Even if I wanted to. He got so huge he can't interact with anyone. Okay, so he did. He was just a little Addison. And then he got twisted. Interesting. Oh, we've got a couple less. That's all the answers we have time for. I'm a busy man. Busy counting all this money. Now this big shot's gonna go to bed. Sleep tight. What exactly is a Peepus? Is it a clam? An egg? Or just something completely new? The question has been itching at me for generations. Eggs? What? Look, that's Mr. Peepus to you. Eggs? Only friend like me can call the boys that. A white one? That's surely another man's treasure. Think before you stink, Funwadden. Thank you. Okay, so it's interesting. Some of these questions I think are tailored to try to provoke a response. Like they're making their stuff funny in the hopes that he'll pick them, but some of this stuff seems like it's very clearly trying to get bits of information to explain or relate to things that we've seen in this like sort of archetype thing. So here he's talking about the white egg. That's surely trash, another man's treasure. Yes, that's right. We talked about the special white egg earlier and how I was saying completely out of nowhere that maybe that was Spamton himself. I really don't have any basis for that, but maybe. In which case, I wonder if Spamton was an egg. Are these other blue things going to turn into something too? But if they're only eggs in the real world, in games, but then we see them as blue eggs in this, I don't know. I'm overthinking this. Pac-Man. So he's a little defensive of them. Spamton, is Noelle your mother? Well, that just comes straight out and asks a question. You think that Hochi Mama is my Mama Hochi? That's a fun wordplay. No, she's just the only one that ever read my... That's why I gave her a little blue gift. It was the world's first charity. She's the only one that ever read his emails and wrote back. So he gave her a present. So he did give her a present. She's the only one who ever read his emails and wrote back. We know that she wrote back because she references that. So she wrote him back. And so he wanted to try to help her. So he went looking for her sister. Couldn't find her sister, but he did look. I think I think that means something. I think that's very sweet of him. That says something about him. That he went looking for her sister. So he gave her a little blue gift. The world's first charity. Haha, see, because we're doing charity with the sweepstakes. A little blue gift. Because he was the egg. Maybe. But the blue one, that is from him. Spamton, who is Mike? Straight up asking the question. Look at this. What is the egg? Spamton, is Noelle your mother? Spamton, who is Mike? Bleep you, are you one of that cathode's crew? You guys know nothing about Mike, nothing, and that's the way it's gonna stay. You leave him out of this. So Spamton is defensive of Mike. He wants to protect Mike. You leave him out of this, I think. So cathode CRTs, cathode ray tube televisions. So by asking about Mike, Spamton assumes that this person, Ornstein, that Ornstein is in league with the TV person who Spamton is not a fan of. And he wants to keep Mike safe from the TV person and his crew. Tenna. My guess, anyways, that this is Tenna. So Tenna has a crew, and they want to find Mike, and Spamton wants to keep Mike safe. There's clearly been a big fight among these guys, Jevil, Spamton, and Tenna. I mean, assuming that Tenna is actually a person that is actually the equivalent of Spamton and Jevil that we're going to be encountering that has to do with TVs and stuff. There are several layers of assumptions being made here. None of these are based on hard fact evidence in the game itself, so it is entirely possible that we will start playing the game and this will not be the case. However, I'm used to just building a house of cards of predictions on things, so just like... I accept that I might be wrong, and I'm just gonna move on full speed ahead here. Yes, a TV crew. I wonder whether Tenna betrayed them somehow. Who knows? We don't know anything about Tenna except that Spamton hates him. I do wonder. Because we've got toys, we've got a computer, we've got television coming up. So all forms of entertainment. Games. I wonder if we'll have game shows. Computer games. Board games. We're playing a video game. Nah. I don't know. Anyway, that's interesting stuff. And this is what they chose to end on because these are big ones. These are actual lore bits here. So it's telling you about the white one, the blue gift, and Mike, and confirming something about Tenna. So that's neat. That's neat. That's neat. I want to make some cookies, cookie of boy. I think I could do that. I'm not very good at decorating cookies, but I could try. Okay, so here's a special egg. But who sent her the egg if this egg was Spamton? Is the fact that she would punish her pets so they would never fall in love is just like... You have to be careful because not all mods are compatible. When pets fall in love, an egg appears and it hatches into a new pet that combines the animation and visual data of the two parents. Meaning if you try to breed a hamster and a car, you'll either get a complete freak of nature, or worse, you'll get this message: incompatible pet. It's interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just like... Because it's also the Your Best... Spamton's still the best. 1997. Yeah, it just appeared on its own, but I... Did it, though? And how does this relate to the Lighteners having toys that become Darkners in the Dark World and all of those things? I don't know. I don't know. Silence and Freedom is gonna be so interesting to see. Yeah, well, getting out of bounds and seeing stuff the developers didn't intend is... Hold on, there was one... Hold on. Where was... No, this is the one that's about the TV. Yes. Oh, yes, here we go. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Aren't you forgetting something? Is it playing music? Hold on. Yes. It had a sound effect. Oh. Can I... Oh, I can scroll up here. Okay. Yes. I did this one. You scroll up, and this because of like the simplicity of the graphics, this really feels like something from like an old, like pre-Atari ST, like pre-Amiga. What was that? There's a really, really old Atari console. Then you can click on the door, which takes you to Ice Palace Glacier. Double checking, and yes, in fact, this has the same... So what was this? I don't think I clicked on this one, did I? So there's this glitch. Yeah, because she's just so intense on looking for glitches, which is kind of like what we're doing. We're looking for things that are broken. Can't find any key in the game that opens it. I can get to the door pretty consistently if I concentrate. Like, are they trying to get Noelle to access something? You know, are they setting her up? Is someone or something going to, like, trying to set Noelle up to, like, open bad news in the dark world or something like that here with this door? I don't know. It feels different every time. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Well, the spooky door in that oh, you mean the one that sounds like it's got a machine inside? I started crying, but I knew my mom would turn off the game if she heard me. Like, that's just, it's such a... I love that these scary electrical sockets with faces are in the game. Alright, did I ever click on this? Oh. I just go straight back here. Open image in new tab. The image is just screen.gif. Huh. I don't know. Dragon Blazers. There was another... I didn't click on this one right here. Oh, right. Where could this be? And it's RAM. It's the blue room. Through the television, which we're going to do next. Was there anything... Was there something else? I want to say there was something else that I might want to look at again, but I can't think of what it was. Yes, it looks like a standard image, not loading image, but I wasn't sure if there was something else to it. The angel with the tattered wings, which I'm pretty sure gets referenced somewhere else. Hi. What's up? What's up, Susie? Susie. Hi. Susie. She's gonna be like, I was just sleeping in the dark world and I opened up my eyes and I saw some weird looking person who looked a little bit like Chris because they're human instead of a monster. Hi, Susie. It is interesting. It does feel like she's looking right at you, doesn't it? It's like she's looking at the screen at you. It's neat. I don't know. I think it's cool. Anyway, I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else for me to click on. There's one more hidden link. How did you find this hidden link? Here's a custom embroidery now, you scrap heap. Thanks, Spamton. I love that these are sock puppet socks. See, it's funny because puppets, because they have ever wanted to make you into your living puppet and enslave me with visions of glory. Not that that's absolutely what is happening. We're back to this, sorry. But that's absolutely what's happening in here. See, it's funny, haha, because that's what's been done to him. Yeah, because we did have Dust. It's a red guitar. There's do you see, can you see that? There's the title of it. It has the asterisk and then in parentheses it's a red guitar. Hold on. I wonder if I could try some other... If I could look for some other things. The name of the file in this page? I mean, it's Des. The page is called Des. This is guitar GIF. And this sounds like two people playing together. A guitar and a keyboard, which I talked about last time. What else? Okay. I'm just trying some stuff out. I want there to be lyrics. Listening to this made me really want to cover this song and sing it. And my head started writing lyrics that I didn't actually write down, so that probably won't happen. But good night, Avalon. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you have a good rest of your night. I'm glad you could make it. Oh my gosh. I assume that just happens randomly sometimes when you do the wrong thing. I'm thinking. I had an idea and I'm trying to think of what it was. What am I thinking of? What was I going to do? What was I going to try? No? Just sometimes you gotta try some things out. Poor Birdley doesn't get a mention. He just shows up and is obnoxious in the guest book. How secret is the other secret one? No, I just want to like put in random things. I don't think that's going to help Lauren. We just have a cute sleeping pup. What else? Is it a URL that I'm likely to think of on my own? Sorry for the sirens going off again. That is definitely a thing. I'm thinking. Yeah, go ahead. Give me a hint. See if I can figure it out. Why not? I'm trying to think. Because I feel like I've pretty much racked my brain. My brain is going on the right track to lead to it, Blue Glass. That's fair. At the moment. Trees? I mean, obviously my brain goes straight to Christmas trees because we have Noel holiday. But what else is there with trees? Because there's like seasons and eggs. What relates to the eggs? Because I have holiday here, but holidays is not it. Something that relates to trees and eggs, because my brain is like Christmas and Easter. I don't know, which probably doesn't make sense. And yeah, if you're talking about something else that I might not have unlocked or encountered, that would definitely complicate things a bit. I mean, I found an egg and I went to put it in Asgore's fridge, I think. Because he doesn't have any food, so you want to give him food. So I think you would give him the egg. I think. I did find an egg. Yes. Oh, but he doesn't do trees. He does plants in general. What would have to do with eggs and trees? Oh, maybe Easter? Not Easter egg. Nope. Just trying a bunch of things here. No, I don't know. So is it connected to something that I haven't seen in game, or that, if for those of you who haven't watched my streams, because I don't expect everyone to have watched it or remember things super well. I obviously don't remember my own streams very well. I've seen it. I definitely saw it. Where did I get that egg? Sans? Was it in Sans' grocery store? No, you can't go to Sans' grocery store in chapter 1. That's a chapter 2 thing, right? Seen may not be the word so much as experienced. Oh, goodness. What has to do with eggs? I'm so sorry. My memory is so bad. There's a link between an egg and a tree. This is probably hinging on my memory. And I don't have a memory, as it turns out. But it turns out that part of having memory issues can come from extended periods of stress. So if you get anxious about the fact that your memory is going, all that's going to do is make it worse. So I just kind of have to roll with it, which is why I'm just like, I'm just going to roll with it and apologize to folks about that. I can't think of a link between it. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I haven't thought through it. And I don't know that I have what I need, because even if it was in my brain, it might have fallen out. So if you have any suggestions, I guess if maybe we'll just go ahead and take, yeah, go ahead, a hint, please. Feel free. I will put on, if you watched me only stream in the past, you know I talk about a chat hat, but you haven't watched me recently. I actually have, courtesy of Chrono, a chat hat now. So I put on the chat hat when I am inviting a hint. I do not remember anything about where I got it from at all. It is a complete hole in my brain. 2 rooms in chapter 1 with a long Starwalker room and the room you run circles in. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. This is what living my life is kind of like these days. There'll be a thing that happened just exactly a year ago, and there's like a hole in my mind where things go, and I'm having a particular, sure, you can give me a link to my own video if you can like timestamp it there. I appreciate your patience with this. I really, it's honestly really upsetting to not be able to remember my own life, and for other people sometimes to remember things better. But it does lead to interesting things, such as me forgetting what happens in a game and being able to experience it twice, and apparently doing the same thing or making the same observations twice. I gotta roll with it sometimes. Maybe my brain is just too powerful, and so it needed to be handicapped. I don't know about watching the stream within the stream as more than just like a really quick thing, but in the meantime, we can listen to this very nice chill song. Well, thank you all very much, by the way, for joining me and hanging out here and listening to me just kind of run my mouth about various ideas and thoughts and stuff that I've had. I mean, I know that there's people out there who piece together they do like theory crafting, and I'm not very good at that. And it's something that I've thought about, and I told you I was timestamping some of my old videos that had me kind of like flipping through, and I was like, man, there's people who make like video essays and stuff about specific things. Like one of the things that came to mind, because it was a specific section of one of my older videos, was talking about gender and the non-binary characters, and the way it plays with gender roles and like gender presentation, even with the binary characters. And I think I went off for like 25 or 30 minutes on that because that's how I roll. And I realized that's the sort of thing sometimes that people will like make an entire video about, and like I just fold it in with my Let's Plays, which leads to a lot of confusion and frustration sometimes with people who just want a Let's Play, and suddenly they open up my streams and bam, here I am rambling about character stuff and narrative stuff and things like that. And I was wondering, like, should I break these into multiple videos in the future? And I was kind of tweeting out my feelings about this because I will sometimes tweet into the void when I'm having thoughts and feelings about stuff. Axel, who's one of our mods and recurring community members, was talking about how, like, a lot of times, like, he's like, I don't think you could do that because a lot of times, like, it's not like, in that case, it was before I started streaming that day. I was like, I had this thing I want to talk about. Hi, Axel. But sometimes it just comes up naturally over the course of conversation. And so you really can't do that. So just timestamp it and hope for the best. Thanks, Justin. And so like, hold on. Sorry, I'm hitting this. So I might just have to roll with it and just see how it is. Speaking of symbols that may or may not be intentional, I will never get over being proud of myself for figuring out that the church resembles Ralsei's design. So, well, thank you, Foxy. I take things very slowly, maybe too slowly. So I don't know. Like, should I not label my things like Lauren Plays? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I make content the only way that I know how, for better or for worse. Okay. Oh, this is the one that I'm actually in the process of. You notice how it says switch to this tab right here? That's because I was actually in the middle of putting timestamps. You'll notice there are timestamps there. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to see. I think this was one that I was making. Yes, you'll see. Look at that. Look at all those timestamps. Look at that. You see those timestamps? That's what I was doing right before this stream here. So I was close, actually. I was close to getting to the point of what timestamp do we want here? We want timestamp 55... 50 or 5:57:20. All right. Thank you. I'm trying. Timestamps are good now that I know that they exist. Discord server for me to talk to our German speakers. Oh, look at that. Oh no, that's me. What am I doing? What am I doing in this? Oh, it's that weird. Okay, that weird secret mystery weird thing. Yes. Hello, past Lauren. This is very strange streamception. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. Okay. All right. Hello. What did I do? There's a tree. He is behind the tree. He is behind the tree. I'm closer to the camera now because I'm like leaning in. I'm like, oh, what's this? There's a man here. He offered you something. Yes? Did I take it? I don't remember. Past Lauren. My lights are less bright now than they were back then. Past Lauren is having a hard time to decide to get an egg. Why are you bringing an egg from the dark world and putting it in your dad's fridge? That seems like a bad idea. You put it in your dad's fridge. I remember that. I remember putting it in a dad's fridge, I think. Man, I don't know. It's because I got a different camera, I think. The egg is mysterious. Okay. There's not a man here. Man. Oh, shoot! What? hey, 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 check it out. Hey, 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 check it out. Check it out. What have I done bringing an egg and putting an egg? Yes, the egg not changing from light to dark is concerning. Man, here I was so proud of myself bringing Dad an egg for his fridge, but oh, there's something clickable behind the tree. If you click behind the tree, it takes you to egg. There's a man behind the tree who hands you an egg. Huh. Behind the tree, there is a man who hands you an egg. Something happens with the fridge egg between save files, and you have to click above the tree, which is, I think, roughly, like, you have to, like, walk up here from the looks of it. Yeah, so you walk up here. Here is where the man is. Once you put the egg in the fridge in one save file, it's already there in other files. After getting the egg, if you check a car in the traffic jam, it says there's a man in the car. He waves at you. The egg man is from the light world. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Well, clearly there's some significance with the eggs. And potentially with Spamton being an egg. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe bad things are going to happen if we bring the eggs into our world, and I've already messed up my save and I'm going to get the worst ending. Who even knows? I don't think I got an egg in chapter 2. I think I only got the one. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm going to put on this music again. Yes, please do be careful with spoilers, though. Remember my policy on things. I know that this is really exciting stuff, but I do generally only, like, it's one thing to, like, talk about, like, the egg that I did get, and I don't remember how I got the egg. The omelet ending. Oh my god. At least it's not the Tang ending from Evangelion. Which I have not watched all of, but I am familiar with as a nerd of a certain age. Oh man. It's not even late, but I am sort of yawning. I've been very tired lately. Partly because last week I went to go see the Super Guitar Bros twice, including taking taking a road trip down from Toronto to Buffalo to see them on Wednesday and getting back at like 2:30 in the morning. Oh well, sometimes you have to do things. It was good. I got to see a bunch of friends, hang out with the bros. Would do again. But yeah, so I don't have a cool or fun conclusion. No, it's okay, Tornado Capped. There's clearly something significant going on with eggs. There's multiple things related to eggs happening in according to this, and specifically maybe something that can interact with both the light world and the dark world, perhaps pulling us, the player, into the game. I keep coming back to that. I will be really excited if that is what Toby Fox is doing. I really don't know if that's what he's doing. Like, we don't know. But I do think there's a reason why they chose to have the sweepstakes bring things into our world. I don't think that the choice that we made is going to affect what happens in the story, but I do think that us making a choice will be referenced. And I'm interested to see how that goes. Audience interactivity influenced the story of Homestuck as it was going. I know that. But was the audience themselves referenced in the story of Homestuck? Like, did it cross the barrier between reality and imagination like that? Because I know that one of the pieces of Toby Fox's storytelling DNA is Homestuck. And many of the pieces of his storytelling DNA are things that I have firsthand experience with. Like, he has similar tastes in JRPGs to me. But I don't know the Homestuck side of things very well. I did once have a dream about Homestuck, and I got up and wrote what happened in the dream, and people are like, that's actually really funny because it's actually really close to what happens in Homestuck in a way that you wouldn't understand if you hadn't read Homestuck. And I was like, sweet, that's funny. But I haven't read it. And I don't know if I will. But I'm wondering about that fourth wall breaking. Because it's not the same as if you have a character in the story versus you in our world having a presence in the game story. If that makes sense. Like there's a difference between we can reach into their world and interact with them a little bit, and they look out of their world and see us. Does that make sense? And it's that latter one that I'm wondering if Toby Fox is going to pull on us in this. Because I started writing a book in which I wanted that sort of thing. I was going to play with it. We'll see if it actually ever finish it. Okay, possibly. I wonder. I don't know. This is something I'm interested in. I don't know. It's a neat thing, and it's something you can't do with every medium. You know, you can't do that unless there is direct interactivity of some sort. And unless the thing is being created in front of you, there's only so much that can be done. Unless somebody were able to write the Neverending Story where Bastion turns and looks and it actually describes you. That'd be an interesting thing. But I don't know. I'm assuming that the Neverending Story is something that he likes. Toby likes. We'll see. We'll see. However, if it does wind up going that way, first of all, don't tell me, because I will take longer to beat that than you will. I will take longer to get to that than you do, so please do not immediately start tweeting at me or communicating at me on social media upon discovering that the Neverending Story is happening. Wait until I get there. A million hours later than everybody else on the entire planet. And then we can yell about it. Yeah, something like that, Infinite Snowman. Like, I wonder. But then you also have to have a kind of a purpose for doing that. And sometimes your purpose is just, whoa, isn't it cool? And it would be cool. But I feel like you could say something. And one of the things that the Neverending Story does, especially in the movie, is kind of, you're supposed to feel like you can take lessons from Bastion's experiences and put them into yours. That you too are responsible for defending imagination and maybe taking your feet off the ground every so often. Which I think is a really important message. And that's a message that I think I probably write a lot into things. And maybe Toby Fox is interested in. I don't know. There's a question of, like, what is the role of story? What can you do with a story? Which I feel like the majesty of words quote that made me cry so much, which partly made me cry because it was like Toby Fox was talking to us and saying thank you. Like, I heard you. I know what you want to say to me, and thank you. And also what it has to say about words and the story and some little thing that you do for fun because it's important to you, being able to touch other people and make something wonderful, make the world a better place, in large and small ways. Like that's one of the things that is so powerful about stories, and one of the things that is so compelling about storytelling is the idea that you can create a story for your own entertainment, but then you share it with somebody else, and that someone else is changed by having heard the story that you created. It becomes a part of them. It becomes a part of their mythology, you know, especially if it resonates with them enough to stick around. It makes a mark and becomes part of their references and their touch points for the foreseeable future or even the rest of their lives. That's just absolutely marvelous to me to think of that. You know, one of the things that's really nice about inside jokes is that they let us feel like we're part of something. And they let us feel like every time we reference that joke, we feel the connection to the others who know it. But also, having made that joke and then it continues on like a meme, it's kind of like, in a way, some little piece of you is known. And I think that stories can become a shared vocabulary as well. I mean, there's the obvious reference in the Star Trek episode, the Darmok at Tanagra episode, And as somebody who tells stories, and as someone who has been desperately afraid of being forgotten and thereby disappearing, because for so long I didn't have a strong and solid sense of myself and who I was, it was like if other people stopped seeing me or believing in me, then I would cease to exist even if I was still alive. And so that part of me, there's still some of that in me. And so the thought of having a story that shapes somebody else, like I'm never going to have children, so I'm never going to shape the world and leave my mark and have people carrying my genes on into the future, you know? But if I create something that is meaningful or impactful to people, if it means enough to them that they kind of like open up and like let it kind of take roost inside of their heart with all of the other things that have helped shape them into who they are, in a way that's as good, if not better. That's a little piece of me shaping the world, shaping a person, living on, making something that matters. So I'm really interested in stories about storytelling because I think a lot about storytelling. Obviously, I like to take apart stories. As you've seen, I like to piece together what's going on and guess what's going to happen next and point out the cool things that writers are doing as they create stories. But there's something about like stories are so important to me that for me it's deeper than just there being this cool thing that I can point to and say, look at this cool thing. So yeah, I don't know. That's my little tangent. Maybe that's a good note to end on. What do you think? Is there anything that I've overlooked with this? Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've kind of said, oh, it's raining. It's coming down real fast out there. I'm just gonna go get groceries tonight, but maybe I'll wait a bit. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about the way that Toby Fox approaches storytelling that helps me remember why I want to tell stories. And it makes me want to join the conversation that he's having with the things that matter to him. Because some of those things matter to me and I would be in conversation with them, but also I want to create things that are in conversation with Deltarune too. It's funny that Undertale didn't trigger this reaction in me, but there's something about Deltarune, about its characters and its characterization, like something that I was thinking about. I was joking around with a friend of mine who has an original character, an OC, that she puts into Undertale, specifically on Undertale AU things. And I've like never been a person who makes like OCs for things. I write my original characters in the original stories, or if I'm going to do something with fan characters, they're characters in, like I make fan content with the existing characters. Everything I do is close to canon. And I was like, actually, it's hilarious, but I could actually make an original character that would fit in Deltarune and I would feel comfortable doing so. And there's like almost nothing else like that. And I don't know what it is about Deltarune. Something about it makes me personally feel invited to step in and make it my own. Like, I don't know, it just resonates, and I think that's neat. But in the meantime, I will keep writing my stories and playing Toby's stories and looking forward to what he does next. It's a welcoming game, but there's something about the flavor of its storytelling that just really clicks with me. My predictions, such as they are, might be completely wrong. Like, when I was playing Hades, I was really actually quite close with a lot of my predictions of what was happening and my assessment of what was going on. I had a really good sense for it, so I can say that writer and I tend to be on the same wavelength, and it made a lot of sense. I have no idea whether anything that I'm putting together with Deltarune is even remotely close to what's actually going to happen in Deltarune. But the flavor of it feels so much like home that I don't know, I feel really comfortable in it as a storyteller, in its story and its characters. It's like even like reading Noelle's live journal entries and being like, I know that sounds like things that me and my friends wrote back in the day. Like I could know her. She would be a friend of mine. It is a really, I don't know. It just feels, no, I understand what you're talking about, Tornado. It's not that it's only strangely comforting. And you're like, well, it's just comforting. Like, that makes sense. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game and a good experience for people after it's come out, but I think it's really neat that we're having this experience of discovering it as it's created. That's neat. That's special. Let's treasure that. And I'm looking forward to chapters 3 to 5 coming out at some point in the future. I will be playing them one at a time slowly and doing my best to dodge spoilers, but we've still got some time. I think that if you think about it, you know, there's a planned 7 chapters. There's probably going to be a secret 8th. Oh no, there's a planned, yeah. There's going to be a secret 8th chapter. That I can practically promise. I'm confident in that. Yeah, well, Deltarune, but it's also the specifics of Deltarune. Because I've spoken to people who have the opposite feelings, where they feel much more comfortable at home. Like my friend who has this, you know, she has her Undertale character, and she enjoys playing in Undertale as a world in a way that I haven't. And wouldn't. And she doesn't feel the same way that I do about Deltarune. At least 7, rumors of 10. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I guess who knows? Who even knows at this point? I will just focus on getting the next ones that we do. The real world in its entirety is the secret 8th chapter of Deltarune, maybe. I do think that this sweepstakes is not the only interaction we're going to have between our world and theirs. Because he has the money to pull off a cool thing if he wants to. He has talented friends to pull off a cool thing if he wants to. And he can partner with other people who know how to do things that he can't do. So I think that's exciting. And I'm looking forward to him continuing to make stuff even after Deltarune. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm excited. You might have noticed. Yeah, the sweepstakes for chapter 2 and digital oriented. I mean, they could absolutely do something with television. That could be digital, but also with television. And depending on what themes the others have, if they all have themes in the way that they have so far, like, there's options. There's a lot of options. Nothing's off the table. And if he's got Fangamer involved, they're extraordinarily creative. Because they're not constrained by, like, their feet aren't stuck on the ground. They are able to step away and put their heads in the clouds and imagine what if and play pretend and do things that other people would say either it's impossible or there's no point in doing it. So I guess we'll find out, and it'll be cool. We'll see. Will there be sirens the next time Lauren plays Deltarune? Maybe. But I do think I should. I'm gonna go ahead. I've been saying I'm gonna shut down for like 15 minutes or more now. I keep thinking I've wrapped up what I want to say. I don't have a pretty little bow to put on it. But this isn't really about that, I guess. This has been fun. I don't know how much of this I'll remember when the game comes out. Which is a really scary thing to realize and a really hard thing to admit. I spent a long time kind of trying to hide how much I was forgetting, but I can't hide it, and I might as well let people know. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have healed. Maybe it's something that can heal. We've all had trauma over the past few years, and I've had some personal traumas and tragedies prior to the international ones, and I think that's part of what's taken its toll. But I'm really hoping I'll get my brain back. But if I don't, just be patient with me, and I will do my best. And maybe you can hold my hand as I play through the next chapter and try my best to remember things. Well, the nice thing is that it's all documented on video here now. If I want to, I can go through and make note of that and refresh myself. I didn't fully do that this time. Yeah, this is the note. And I can always replay the chapters when 3 to 5 come out. Yes, I can subject you all to that. Every time a new game comes out, we play through every previous chapter in a crazy marathon, and it's just crazy. For anyone who didn't, I said I was going to replay chapter 1 on one day and then play through chapter 2 the next day. But actually, I did a 12-hour stream and then followed it up with, I think I did wasn't it a 12-hour stream that I broke into 2 pieces for chapter 1 replay, and then I played chapter 2, and it took weeks because I'm Lauren, because I do this when I play games too. Yeah, it was pretty great to see that I had the stamina to do so. But thank you all so much for being part of this, and I hope some of you will come back for that. And help me if I forget things. It is helpful if people aren't disappointed and just understand that this is happening and it's just this thing happening. Maybe it won't be an issue. Maybe next year my brain will be back, my memory will be back. But if it's not, we can outsource my memory and work together. Thank you, Justin. Yes, well, now it'll be easier to find things. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. And I'll continue to stream my weird little streaming self, where I dig into things way too slowly and way too deep for most people's interest. Not deep as in like I'm thinking deep thoughts and you just can't understand. And like, no, I'm like, let's dig under this and then dig under this and maybe dig into this. And people are like, Lauren, we were interested like 3 digs ago, but you've gone too far. Please stop. But I do continue doing this. We're going to continue playing through Horizon Zero Dawn actually tomorrow, because I've got one of my bandmates is coming to town this week. So we're moving Tuesday's stream to Monday. And then, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, we'll be picking up with Unpacking. And we're going to play Stray, and we're just going to kind of go from there. So yeah, if you're not yet a part of our Discord, please feel free to join. It's a very friendly, nice group of people. If you want to be part of the like behind the scenes stream spoilers, you're welcome to join in. Just ask a mod for permission. If you're not already following me on social media and you want to see me yelling into the void periodically, I've lost access to my Lauren the Flute Facebook page. I'm going to try to get that back. But in the meantime, I do have Twitter. I have Instagram, but I don't really use it. And then there's YouTube. That's okay, Megaspell. I also know that everyone has a lot of Discord servers, so there's no pressure. It's just one way of keeping track of things. Yeah, and I think that's it. Oh, and I guess if you want to read the stories. And I think that's all of my stuff. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. Oh, you're already in there. Yes. I thought I'd seen you, but I don't trust my own memory, as has been discussed. Yeah, my server list is a bit big and I don't go to most of them, so I don't take it personally. People sometimes only pop in. They have one channel that reminds them when I go live and one channel where they sit in to do like the Peanut Gallery stream spoilers, and that's all they use the server for, and that's fine. But we do other cool stuff. We've started doing community events and things like that, so it's fun. It's a good group of people. And we've had some new folks lately, which has been nice. Always good to see folks there. So thank you again for those of you who maybe found me through these sweepstakes things and came back and have sat for all of this. Thank you very much for your patience and your interest, and I hope to see some of you around in the future, but if not, I've just enjoyed you being here. And for those of you who always come, thank you for your support. Get some rest, drink some water, stretch, eat something, or take a nap, or take an actual sleep if it's time for that. That's fair. Well, when Deltarune news hits again, you can trust that I will be following it one way or another. All right. It has been lovely to see you all here, and I will see you maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next year. Take care and have a good Sunday or Monday or whatever day of the week it is for you. Bye.